Hello everyone. Let me start with one question. Are you truly free? Or are you being controlled? Right now, you think you chose to watch this video. But what if I told you, most of your choices aren't really yours? What if you're living inside a system designed to guide you, without you even noticing? George Orwell's Animal Farm is not just a story about animals. It's a mirror, showing how power works, how people are controlled, and how freedom quietly turns into another form of slavery. We all live in our own barns, thinking we're free, while the system has already chosen the path for us. Think about it. You scroll social media, but algorithms choose what you see. You watch the news, but someone decides which stories matter. You follow trends, just like millions of others. Orwell's genius is simple. Power corrupts. Even when intentions are good, revolutions get stolen. Equality becomes the biggest lie, and the oppressed slowly turn into the new oppressors. In the next minutes, you'll learn how power shapes your thinking, the techniques used to control the masses, and how they're used on you today, why equality often becomes a tool for manipulation, and most importantly, how to wake up from mental sleep. A warning: once you understand this, you'll never see the world the same again. You'll start noticing the animal farm pattern everywhere. In politics, media, work, even your own family. So the real question is, are you ready to face the truth? If yes, stay with me, because what you're about to learn will change the way you see the world forever. Let's begin with the revolution. Animal Farm is not about animals, it's about us. Orwell uses the farm as a metaphor for a closed system where people slowly lose their freedom, yet still believe they are in control. The barn as a metaphor. A life inside a system, the barn represents any environment where rules, routines, and expectations shape how you think and behave. Over time, this system becomes so normal that you stop questioning it. The author shows how society controls, not by force, but through norms, habits, comfort, fear. People think they're acting freely, but most actions are reactions to hidden pressures. Voluntary slavery. Choosing your own chains. One of the book's hardest truths: people often accept control willingly, as long as it feels safe, easy, or familiar. Orwell's message: you don't need chains to be a prisoner, you just need a system that feels comfortable enough for you to stay silent. Real-life examples. Modern-day barns, you see this everywhere. Workplaces where people stay because it's stable money, routines that keep you stuck, status games. On social media, comfort that kills ambition, habits that run your life. Automatically, these are the walls of the modern barn. System versus individual, who controls whom? The big question: do we shape the system, or does the system shape us? Orwell argues that once a system gains momentum, it starts controlling what you believe, what you fear, what you chase, and what you avoid. Most people don't break the system, they adapt to it and defend the Italiano. The world Orwell shows us is simple on the surface. Animals overthrow their human master and create a new, fair society. But behind this simplicity, there's a brutal truth he wants us to see. A system doesn't need chains to control you. It only needs your trust. At the start, every animal believes they are finally free. No more humans and no more orders on just equality. But step by step, without noticing it, they enter a new kind of prison, not built with fences, but with ideas, promises, and small, quiet changes. Here are the core ideas Orwell uses to expose this hidden mechanism. 1. The farm is a closed system disguised as freedom. The animals think they redesigned the farm. In reality, the farm redesigns them. Old rules disappear, new rules appear, and every change looks reasonable, because some was smarter, the pigs. Explain it in calm, logical words. Orwell's message is sharp. If you don't question the system rewrites your reality. 2. Society controls people through invisible mechanisms. At first, the pigs only organize, then they supervise, then they decide, finally, they command. And no one stops them, because each step is too small to trigger resistance. This is Orwell's genius. Power rarely arrives suddenly, it arrives silently. 3. Voluntary slavery, the most dangerous kind. The animals could resist. They could stand up, but they don't. Why? Because the new leaders offer comfort. You work, we think. You struggle, we plan. You sacrifice, we led. The animals choose convenience over independence. Just like modern society often chooses. Routine over growth, acceptance over questioning, obedience over responsibility. This is how Orwell defines the real trap. People don't lose freedom. They slowly give it away. 4. Symbolic real world parallels everything in the book. Mirrors our world, work. Endless effort with little improvement, money and status. Leaders upgrade their lives first. Comfort. It's easier not to think habits. Repetition becomes obedience. These aren't just metaphors. They're warnings. 5. System versus individual. Who controls whom? The central question Orwell forces us to face. If you stop thinking, the system thinks for you. If you start thinking, the system falls apart. Animal Farm isn't just a story about animals. It's a psychological mirror, a reminder that the most powerful form of control is the one that feels natural. Control doesn't start with chains. It starts with something far more subtle. Fear, routine, social pressure, and tiny rewards. That's the entire machinery behind Orwell's system. And it works so well because people rarely notice it happening. 1. The 4 stages of control. Stage 1. Fear. Every system begins by giving you something to be afraid of. A threat, a danger, a what if. Fear shuts down critical thinking. A frightened mind obeys faster than a logical one. Stage 2. Habit. Once fear settles in, routine takes over. Daily tasks, repeated orders, predictable cycles, they slowly move people into autopilot. When your life becomes repetitive, you stop questioning. Routine becomes reality. Stage 3. Social norms. Nothing controls a human faster than this idea. Everyone else is doing it. When compliance becomes normal, rebellion feels wrong. Social pressure replaces actual force. Stage 4. Reward. Control doesn't just punish. It also gives just enough pleasure to keep you calm. A small privilege, a moment of comfort, a tiny taste of good. Small rewards create deep loyalty. People stay obedient not because they're forced, but because they don't want to lose their little comforts. 2. The invisible machine. Micro-decisions. Control grows through harmless, tiny choices. Not asking one question, agreeing just this once, staying silent to avoid conflict. Choosing comfort over truth. These micro-surrenders stack up. By the time someone realizes what happened, their freedom is already gone. 3. Dopamine. The modern chain. The brain loves pleasure more than freedom. Convenience, quick entertainment, instant gratification. These feel good. And because they feel good, people stop paying attention. A distracted mind is an easy mind to control. 4. Humans in autopilot mode. When a person repeats the same actions long enough, the brain switches to low energy mode. Thinking becomes optional. Following becomes automatic. That's how systems strengthen themselves, not through force, but through exhaustion. A tired person obeys more than a terrified one. 5. The domino effect. Small surrenders gives total control. Total control never arrives in one big moment. It arrives step by step. One compromise, one excuse, one small surrender, one moment of silence. Tiny steps that slowly erase a person's ability to resist. This is how the system wins. Not dramatically, but gradually. Key summary points. People don't resist because fear plus routine creates silence. That's just how things are. It's the most dangerous belief. The brain always chooses the lowest energy path. Humans naturally copy the majority even when the majority is wrong. Most people never question the system because they never question themselves. Awakening doesn't begin with rebellion. It begins with something far harder. Seeing yourself clearly. And that's the author's main point. The first step out of the cattle pen is not escaping the world. It's escaping your own illusions. 1. Self-recognition. The start of all change. You cannot break a pattern you refuse to see. People love comfort, even when it limits them. They avoid truth, even when it frees them. That's why awakening begins with a simple, brutal act. Admitting what you've been avoiding. Your habits. Your fears. Your excuses. Your blind spots. The moment you see yourself honestly, the system loses half its power. 2. The inner voice. The first step is to acknowledge reality. The author repeats one theme over and over. Humans lie to themselves more than anyone else lies to them. We silence our inner voice because truth is uncomfortable. But the voice doesn't go away, it waits. And when you finally listen, the message is always the same. Wake up. 3. Leaving the comfort zone. Comfort feels safe, but it slowly becomes a cage. Growth only happens when you willingly step into discomfort. The difficult conversation, the new challenge, the unknown path, the risk that might expose your weaknesses. The system survives because people cling to comfort. The moment you embrace discomfort, you stop being predictable. And predictable people are the easiest to control. 4. Awareness of your environment. Awakening also means looking around and asking, who benefits from me staying asleep? There are always people, systems, groups, sometimes even family, that prefer you predictable, silent, obedient, not because they're evil, because your awakening forces them to face their own sleep. Understanding this is freedom. Recognizing it is power. Bullet summary: one conscious choice every day, even one intentional decision, starts breaking the autopilot cycle. Signs of a mentally independent person: questions everything, takes responsibility, resists automatic behavior, thinks before reacting. Self-work is the only exit from the system. No revolution, no leader, no movement will free you if your mind is still asleep. Practical exercises: daily writing. Why did I act this way? Observing habits instead of just doing them. Analyzing your thoughts before believing them. These tiny practices slowly build awareness, and awareness destroys control. Comfort is the deadliest trap. It feels safe and it feels easy, but it quietly chains you to a life you didn't choose. Orwell shows it through the farm. The animals didn't rebel because danger was obvious. They rebelled slowly when the comfort they relied on was challenged. 1. Psychological reverse laws. Doing the hard thing often makes life easier in the long run. Choose difficulty consciously. Small, deliberate challenges force action. Reward comes not from ease, but from effort. The brain resists pain but thrives on mastery. Easy paths are expensive. They cost freedom. Difficult paths are valuable. They build control over your own life. 2. Breaking habit chains. Your daily routines are invisible chains. To escape, interrupt automatic patterns. Approach unfamiliar experiences. Say no. 2. Easy distractions reclaim control of your time. Each small disruption weakens the system as a hold on you. 3. Small games to force action. Create tiny triggers for behavior. A checklist for daily improvement, a habit tracker, accountability reminders. These micro tools push you out of autopilot and into conscious living. Key bullet: break everyday chain step toward unfamiliar or uncomfortable tasks. Learn to say no. Not everything is yours to follow. Master your own schedule before someone else does. Escape isn't about drama. It's about small, deliberate steps out of comfort. One choice at a time. Real change doesn't start with goals. It starts with identity. Orwell's message, hidden in Animal Farm, is clear. If you don't define who you are, the system will define it for you. 1. The 3 levels of change. Change happens in layers. Actions, the things you do daily. Systems, the routines and structures you follow. Identity, who you believe you are. True transformation only occurs when identity shifts first. Actions and systems follow naturally. 2. Asking, who am I? Every conscious choice answers this question. Every small habit, every yes or no, is a vote for the person you want to become. Ask yourself daily, am I the kind of person who accepts this? The answer shapes your identity more than any motivation speech ever could. 3. Reinforcing identity through habits. Identity isn't just abstract. It's strengthened through consistent actions, character-driven habits, persistence in the face of difficulty. Surrounding yourself with environments that reflect your values, each step becomes a vote for who you truly are. Key bullets: redefine yourself consciously. Use statements like, I am the kind of person who. They shape belief. Build an environment that supports your identity. Align daily actions with your core values. Remember, your identity is the real battlefield. Once you claim it, no system can control you. Growth is often invisible. Most people give up just before the breakthrough. Orwell's Animal Farm teaches us a silent truth. Power builds slowly, unnoticed, until it's unstoppable. 1. The plateau of latent potential. Change doesn't feel dramatic at first. You work. You struggle. You see no results. This is the growth plateau. Patience becomes the battlefield. Those who quit never reach the tipping point. 2. Why people give up. Humans are wired for instant results. If progress is invisible, motivation fades. The farm animals didn't see the shift coming. They surrendered too early. True change, like melting ice, is subtle. Small heat accumulates quietly. Then suddenly, transformation. 3. The power of long-term thinking. Consistent. Tiny efforts compound. 1% improvement every day. Deliberate, conscious choices, invisible work that later yields enormous results. Growth isn't sudden. It's slow, steady, and unstoppable if you persist. Key bullets: even slow progress is still progress. Make one conscious decision daily. Trust the hidden power of invisible effort. Transformation comes gradually, but it comes, and it sticks. Remember, the system thrives on impatience. Your advantage is long-term persistence. The core message of Animal Farm is clear. You must be the master of your own life. No system, No authority, no habit should silently control you. 5 steps to start today. Identify one harmful automatic behavior. Find a habit that keeps you on autopilot and challenge it. Change your environment by just 1%. Small adjustments can shift your thinking and actions dramatically. Create a list of tiny, conscious decisions. Each deliberate choice is a vote for the person you want to become. Surround yourself with supportive people. Choose those who encourage growth and independent thinking. Choose meaning over comfort. Don't escape through convenience. Pursue what truly matters. Freedom isn't a place or a system. It starts inside you. Every choice, every action, every habit. They either build your cage or break it. Start breaking yours today. If you found this analysis valuable, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Tell us, which book should we analyze next? Your journey to awareness begins with a single step, and the first step is deciding to watch.